Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today I want to pour what I previously poured, and before I tell a little bit more about it, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the colors I'm using. I have here the Onyx from Octopus, and I only go with one drop, you see it, and I didn't want it to be too dark because sometimes when you mix your black too dark, then you don't see the effects in the center. So I thought just be a little bit more careful and just go with one drop. Then my second color is the Bead Red, and I just go with a spritz, as you can see. Then the third color is the Elderberry. It's from Art Resin Ink. And then I have the Butterscotch, which is from Octopus. And you see, I just go with the spritz. And now I have here some of the Interference Pearl, which I add to all the colors except from the black. And I will also mix some white. So I'm using, I think there were 5 drops in these little cups. And then I can start doing my pour. So I just mix my colors very good. I just briefly mix them here, but I later on off camera mixed them and stirred them very well. So I don't have any traces of the pigment powders in my resin. So I'm just showing you what I did a little bit. Anyway, everything is mixed, and I'm using here the Mastercast resin. It's a rather thick resin and the working time is not so long. It's around about 40 minutes. And I start pouring my clear resin around the edge. I'm using here the M-size Cascade Geode mold from MoldsandShapes. It's a tray mold, and I wanted to see if I get a nice effect also with a little bit bigger mold. So this is me playing around. I also want to make a video where I'm using the Ultracast resin, a medium viscosity resin, and see if I can get similar effects. And I also want to use a different mold, so probably starting with coasters again and then later on a tray mold. So this is all to come, but yeah, back to this pour. I'm now pouring my black, and you see it's rather transparent. As I said, I didn't want the black to be too dark and that you don't see all the effects, because you can achieve awesome effects with a sort of, I always call it a web effect. I don't know how you would call it. Some people maybe would call it a lace effect. I don't know, but I call it the web effect. And then I'm going further with my, now let me think, it's the Elderberry. You really need to think in which row you poured. So this is the Elderberry, and I'm using everything that's in my cup. And adding the Interference Pearl to your colors, they really give the colors a very beautiful sheen. Second color now is the Bead Red. And I was a little bit afraid that this could be maybe too dark, but you will see in the end result, it gives a gorgeous effect. So I also added all what's in the cup in there, and then there is my last color, and this is the Butterscotch Yellow. And well, at that moment I also thought, if these colors are really matching to each other, but if you don't try, you don't know. And then as a final color, or no, I'm now taking my clear resin. I'm sorry, I got mixed up. My clear resin, I'm filling up my mold. Not completely, because there's going to be the white coming still, but I just use what I had in my jar for my clear resin. And you can see my mold is not completely full yet. So I'm taking my white mixture and I'm just going around along the edge and hope I can get my white moving so it's moving all the other colors as well, and that I achieve a wonderful effect on the other side. But this is always, you know, when you are not 100% sure with the technique, when it's rather new to you. Actually, this kind of pouring is nothing new, but, you know, the color combinations and, yeah, to see if there are going to be some effects somewhere. And this is the new thing for me, this combinations with the colors. So now I'm just using the heat gun very carefully so I can pop some bubbles and I can activate a little bit the resin. Normally I'm not using the heat gun, but it's a mastercast resin and it's a rather large mold. And I thought, yeah, it just helps a little bit to thin out my resin and then it can pull towards the center. And there's going to be the time lapse, as you see. And yeah, sorry, I switched the light off and then I remembered, oh, I switched the light off. I need to switch it on again. So I'm sorry about it. I put this in the evening, so it became dark already. And well, this time I thought I also don't put any glitter or anything in my center. So please don't wonder, I just made a swirl. And this is now after my resin stopped working. The time lapse was around about half an hour long. So this is after I stopped the time lapse, and yeah, now I just let my resin cure and see whatever it needs to do, and I hope it gets some beautiful effects on the other side. So this is now yeah, it's the same day because it was warm over here. I could demold. It's only very slightly soft. It's really almost cured. And yeah, I was so curious. I wanted to see what is the result. So let's have a look. And look at this. I really love this. I love the color combination, even though I was a little bit critical, but look at the rim. I really love the clear sort of crackle effects or cells. Can you call them cells? I really love it. And look at the center. Because of the interference pearl, you get this sheen to it, and the colors are blending very nicely. I really like this. And okay, the center is rather clear, but I just wanted to see how it looks without any stones. And I think it looks amazing. And here's now the close-up, the final result. And I just wonder what you are thinking, guys. I really love it. It gives me summer vibes. Anyway, with this, I love and leave you. I thank you for watching and take care. Bye-bye.